Hello, and welcome to another episode of Learning with Dante. I am your host, Dante, and today's topic is goals and motivation. So, before we get into the topic, allow me to tell you a little bit about who I am. I am Dante. I come from a small town in Indiana. I was raised in a two-parent household. I am college educated and have a lot of life experience, the highs and the lows, the happy to the sad. So I'm a typical, I guess, American. You know, it's not always great, but it's not always bad. A little more about myself. I am an educator, entrepreneur, and I do comedy. So have a little comedy in me that I do from time to time. My goals for this podcast is to become a business and improve my community, and also try to enhance your life as well. I hope my words will encourage and develop you into a complete person that you are trying to be. So that's the motivation and the reason why I do what I do. My format basically is I get life topics and I explain them and try to educate people on how these topics can enhance your life or make your life better, or talk about a topic that needs to be talked about, and I put it in a simple manner where it could be explained and understood. So today's podcast basically is going to be on goal setting and motivation. And why do I pick this topic? Well, a little bit more about myself. I graduated from high school many moons ago. Shouts out to Madison Heights High School. And I attended a junior college after high school. Shouts out to Vincennes University. I got my degree in education, and the goal then was to become a school teacher. And you may ask, well, why did you come to that conclusion that you wanted to be a school teacher? Well, in my family, I have a lot of educators. My stepmother was a school teacher. She was a teacher of the year several times. She has a PhD in education. My uncle is also a school teacher, and he transitioned to principal, and now he's a track coach, and he's still with the youth in education. I have countless cousins and friends that are school teachers. I even have one of my best friends. He is a principal. Shouts out to D. Brown. So those are the people that I grew up with and was around education all the time. But I really wasn't the most educated one. I wasn't special ed by no means. DJ Nate was. But I was not. I didn't attend Miss Eddie classes at all. And for those of you that listen to this podcast that attended Miss Eddie's class, that waterbed was really soft. But anywho, but I didn't have any of those type of experiences. But I wasn't the best learner in class by no means. I can go back now and say I was not reading on my right grade level, because at that point in time I was going to the NBA. I was going to be the first 5'11" center to ever be drafted number one in the NBA draft. But that didn't happen, and so there had to be a plan B, and at that point in time there was no plan B. Only thing I knew to do then was to get a job. Like most people in that area, there was a lot of factory jobs, so like everyone else, I got factory jobs. But lo and behold, I was not very good at factory jobs. My fine motor skills was not the best, so it made it difficult to handle small objects, and also my ability to withstand standing for long periods of time was lacking, so factory work did not work for me. So I looked into a lot of other type of ways of making income. And one of them I came across was sales. I was one of the first people in my town to get into sales. I was selling Kirby vacuum cleaners. And I still to this day, I can take it down and put it apart. But I was somewhat good at it. But I was 19, 20 years old. So it's not, how long are you really going to be doing that. It was just a job. And then a lot of my friends were in college and going to college, and some of my not so smart friends were in college. I'm like, man, if they can go to college, I can too. So that started my college journey. And then within that college journey, like I said, I'd really have no direction. I initially enrolled to do business. I was going to be a businessman. So that was the goal. But one of the things that deterred that journey was math. I was not good at math. I hated math. The only thing I knew about math was 2 + 2 is 44. That was basically it. And so I knew how to count money, but when it comes to algebraic expressions and finding the area and all this type of stuff, I was not good at it. I was intimidated by it, and I never even tried to conquer it. So I had no motivation or no goals that I was trying to accomplish that needed me to be hardworking. So I abandoned it. And then I looked into the education curriculum, and only had like 2 math classes. I'm like, oh man, beginning math and basic college algebra math. Like, oh, well, I can do that. So that's one of the reasons why I went into that route. But during that journey, I did discover some of the classes that I was good at. And one of the classes I was very good at was communication, looking up things, doing research papers. So that got me through my junior college experience. Then I transferred to a large university, but during that time, financial situation made me have to go to work and go to school. And my time management was not the best during that time period. So, of course, that didn't last long. School part didn't last long. So I fell into the work world. And one of the places that I was employed at was a juvenile facility, working with troubled youth. And that job consists of a lot of training, a lot of empathy training, and a lot of law training. So I understand laws, and I understand some of the psychology that comes with dealing with delinquency. So to piggyback on that, that still kept me in the education world. So mind you, I still had my associate's degree, so that allowed me to get into the school system. So I got into the school system as a substitute teacher. Started out substitute teaching way back when, and didn't mind doing it. You know, at that time I was part of the 90s mentality. We were still tough, so I was always dealing with kids that were in let's say high risk areas, because I was not intimidated by them, because I grew up in a high risk area too. Even though I had a 2-parent household, you still can't stop where you live. So I could relate to those type of children, and I felt comfortable around those type of people. So I've always been in the lives of, let's say, low income areas, dealing with those type of people and those type of kids, because I could relate to them. But over time, I developed even more and more on my professional side. So I started dealing with more professionals, and I started dealing with higher class of people, for lack of a better word. So it changed. My perspectives and my views on how to deal with people had to change. Like with high risk people, for lack of a better word, you have to have a certain type of mentality. But then when you're dealing with the professional world, you have to leave that type of mentality there and develop a different type of mentality. You don't want to be part of the when keeping it real goes bad. So I had to learn how to adapt. So one way that I had to adapt was I had to set new goals for myself, new ways of doing, new outlook on what I want to become. So during that time period, I discovered the love of reading. That's what pretty much changed my whole perspective. That's what changed my whole life. My life path was when I started reading. A lot of people say, if you want to keep secrets from people, put it in a book. In a lot of cases, that is true. A lot of people listen to podcasts, and a lot of people listen to what other people say, but you develop a different understanding when you discover things yourself. So one of the books that I highly recommend, for those of you that wants to accomplish goals and achieve things in your life, is the 7 Atomic Habits. You have to develop new habits, new motivation, new ways of doing things, or you will still be in the same situation. So I had to develop new habits. All right. So that brings us into the topic of goal setting and motivation. So goals can drive motivation and performance. So if you set out what you want to do, then your motivation is different. And then it'll affect your performance in other things you do because you have a goal, right? A well-defined goal is clear. Clear goals is what you got. I am going to be, well, I hear people say all the time, I'm going to be a millionaire. Okay, how you going to do it? I'm going to make a whole lot of money. Well, how are you going to do it? Well, I'm going to be a business. What kind of business? I don't know, a business. So that's it. That is a great start. Okay, you want to start a business. You want to better yourself. That is a wonderful start. But now you got to step more direct. In what ways are you going to better yourself? What kind of business you're going to start? Let's take merchandise business for example. Okay, you want to get into merchandise business. So first you need to narrow down what type of merchandise you want to sell. Okay, let's just use hoodies for example. I want to sell HBCU hoodies. Okay, so first you need to get the names of the HBCU hoodies, and then go from that standpoint. So you have to be clear in what you're trying to do and how you're going to. And then next, you got to develop your intentions. Why do you want to be a millionaire? I want to be a millionaire to do a whole lot of cocaine. Then your intentions is kind of off, But I want to be a millionaire to affect my life. I want to be a millionaire for my kids will have a better chance of surviving. I will say this, when I do become a millionaire, I am just not going to just be leaving things to people. I would always set stipulations because at the end of the day, I wouldn't want you to just get the money and then just blow through it because you didn't appreciate it because you didn't have to work for it. Because a lot of adults out there know this, that when you work hard to achieve something, you value it more. It has more value. So yes, I will make sure you eat every day to keep you functioning, to keep your brain going. But at the same time, you still have to have some type of incentive to keep up that lifestyle that you now have. So you have to set out clear intentions of why you want it. And then a lot of times when you set goals, you're going to start getting feedback from other people. When I told my friends that I was going to start a podcast, a lot of them was very encouraging. Oh man, you could do that. Man, that's something you really should do. But then at the same time, you have some people like, man, everybody's doing that. Don't nobody want to hear what you got to say. But you can't let that stop you, okay? Use it for motivation. That's what I did. Well, I didn't really have to use it for motivation because most of the people in my life was encouraging. So I'm blessed to have encouraging people in my life. So as you start to pursue these goals, let's use me an example in this podcast situation. When I first started, it was the hardest thing ever. When I was trying to edit, I couldn't get things to go. My voice wasn't sounding right. The microphones wasn't sounding right. It was just one thing after another. And I ain't gonna lie, it became very discouraging. The only thing that kept me motivated in doing it because I didn't want to be the person that said, I'm going to do something and then don't do it. So now it makes you look like, man, that dude or person is always saying he's going to do something, don't ever do anything. So I don't want to be what they say. I don't want to be that guy. So this is me showing that, hey, I'm going to stick to what I started, and I'm going to finish it and see it all the way through. And I've done that. And let me tell you this, it's still a challenge. Now, coming up with content, I was supposed to have a co-host today. They didn't fall through. Dealing with that, and then coming up with plan Bs. That's what I would also recommend. Always have a plan B. Okay, you can have your goals, you can have your intentions, you can get your feedback, but you still need to have a plan B just in case that goal doesn't go as planned. You can always have a pivot where you can pivot into this. I was supposed to be talking about another topic today, and I'm still going to talk about it. I'm going to leave the cliffhanger to the end so you can hear what next week's topic is going to be. But this week, like I said, so we pivot to motivation because I is as I'm talking to you, I'm also talking to myself to stay motivated and to keep going even though you have challenges. All right. Commitment. Are you committed to what you started? Are you saying, yes, I got these goals. Yes, I got the feedback. But if I get it done, I get it done. If I don't, I don't. Okay. How committed are you to finishing what you started? What is your reward for finishing what you started? The gratification that I get by doing this is the fact that I said I was going to do it and I did it. And I know for a fact that someone is motivated by watching me do this, because some people know my struggles. Not no drugs, nothing like that. I was once a junkie doing smack. Not the DON, that's whack. But my motivation, my struggles is I start stuff and I finish, and I have 30 different things going at one time. It used to be told that multitasking was great. Man, he's able to multitask. He can do all these multitask things. But in my case, I would have 30 things going and then nothing would get done. And then it looked like, man, he started out on fire, but nothing got finished. So I started to do one thing at a time. So a way of setting goals is to set one goal at a time. Like I said, I'm everywhere. So each month I have 2 or 3 things that I want to accomplish for that month. And then I still have goals planned out for the year. July, the DON album is coming out. It's going to be a hip-hop pop album. It's going to have fun songs and it's going to have meaningful songs. But that's in July. We're in February. So I got time to accomplish more things before I even get to that. But in the meantime, I'm still writing the songs. I'm still getting the music together. But it's not a rush because it's way, way, way off. And if I do one thing towards that album a month, then about time July get here, I got 7 things done. And I didn't have to, cram it all in one month. So that's another part of goal setting is increments. Set benchmarks, okay? This is the first part of the goal. This is the next part of the goal. This is the next part of the goal. And as you build momentum, you are accomplishing your goals. And believe it or not, once you start accomplishing things, people will start to notice. And then that encouragement builds momentum. And once you got the momentum going, you can keep on going. You can keep on moving. And the next thing you know, you are that millionaire, or you are that CEO, or you are that school teacher, or you're that head shift person, or you the shift supervisor, or you're the mom or the dad that you said that you wanted to be, just because you're accomplishing small things at a time. All right. Task complexity. When we have tasks, yes, it's going to be hard, especially if it's something new. I am not an audio video person at all. All I know is you put the CD in and you hit play. But now, since I'm into this world, I'm developing editing. I'm developing software. I'm using certain AIs that's going to enhance the show and it's going to enhance me better. But at the same time, I'm learning. So now I can motivate, or I can teach someone else how to do it. Now, not only am I benefiting myself, I'm benefiting someone else. That's that community build. And it all started because I had a goal in mind for myself. So sometimes your goals can enhance someone else's life. All right? So now you got to figure out what's the reward of you completing one thing. The reward is now you are a success. Success is in the eye of the beholder. Me getting up here, starting this podcast, is a success. It's a win for me. All right. People are waiting for this to be done, and now I've produced. All right. So now I can offer my service for someone else because they see I'm a person that sticks to what he's going to do and he gets things done. All right. So we're going to wrap this up with this. The world does not reward mediocrity. Always try to do your best. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're setting out to do it to the fullest of your capabilities. And then 2, say your best sucks. You did your best. You put all you could into it, but at the end of the day, it's whack. Okay? Don't let that discourage you. Take that criticism and use it to better you. Sometimes the harshest words could be the words that would make you the best person that you could be, just because someone's brutally honest with you. Let's take some rappers out there, for example. Someone needs to tell them, hey man, you really suck. You might need to try to do something else. Your beats is whacking, and so is what you're talking about. It is terrible. Okay, that doesn't mean you're a terrible person, but you may be a better singer, or you just may be a better writer for someone else to do it. Someone may tell me, hey Dante, your feet, I'm glad that you're doing the podcast, but brother, you might need to look into something else. I would take that and I would analyze it. But if the numbers say that, hey man, you may not think my podcast is not all that great, but I got 1 billion people out there that think it is great. So, I mean, I can hear what you said. I can take that with a grain of salt, but as the majority says different. So then too, be careful who you're taking your feedback from. You know, if I am someone that has not accomplished anything in life, I haven't done anything at all, and then I'm tearing you down about what you're trying to do, what merit do I have to even listen to you? What have you done to say, you know what, I really need to listen to that person? If Ice Cube was to tell me, Dante, your rapping skills is terrible, and your production is whack, I might want to listen to Ice Cube. Ice Cube got platinum albums, so that's somebody I might want to listen to. But when I got Bootleg Larry trying to tell me that my album is no good and he done went double wood, he's not someone that's not a reliable source. So be careful of who you're taking your feedback from, and everybody's feedback is not worth valuing. Okay? And then, what is your why? Why? Why do you do what you do? Okay? That has to be solidified in when you're setting your goals. Why are you trying to accomplish this goal? Why are you trying to do this? And you will see that some of your things can be accomplished just by knowing why you want to accomplish them. All right? So, I end you with this. The one thing you can control is your attitude. Have a great day. Peace.